Hello, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and there is what they call breaking news from the defense of Bryan Kohberger, who they're well, what they're trying to say at this point is that his DNA at the scene is, well, we should ignore that, and there's two male DNAs at the scene we should pay attention to, and that's why he didn't do it. Okay, as we all know these days, as court date arrives, which I think this one's in August, the defense is able to, without any kind of gag order, go all over the media, putting out every kind of story they can, so that the incoming jury, who has never heard of the case, will then have that stuff stuck in their minds, and it will help them get their guy off. It's just the way it works these days, and I don't agree with that. I think we should have gag orders like crazy. Anyway, so here's the brief. I just read this from Fox 13. Bryan Kohberger's defense claims that unidentified male blood found at the King Road crime scene could point to other suspects, possibly as part of a staged crime scene. That's kind of weird because oh, I see. Maybe the defense is doing this. So there's two supposed male DNAs that are supposedly blood, one being on a railing and one being on a glove. I've never heard of this stuff before. I don't know where this railing was, where this glove was. And so I don't understand exactly the evidence at this point. And have they not linked it to anybody? We don't know this stuff. This is just what the defense is putting out. And they're saying it could be part of a staged crime scene. So are they saying that two guys came in and killed these four wonderful students and left their blood at the scene? And now, mind you, in order to leave your blood at the scene, you have to be involved in a struggle that causes some kind of cut to you or a scratch or something, so that you would then touch a railing and leave blood on it, and that it would be on a glove that you might have used at the crime scene. But in spite of the fact that two different people have had injuries, the only injuries appear to be outside of the house, not inside the house where the victims are. So that's a little odd. And so are they saying that these two people who actually committed the crime then planted the glove, you see? They planted, not the glove, the knife sheath of Bryan Kohberger with his own DNA on it, because somehow he knows these guys. These guys know him, but he's never ratted them out. But they stole his stuff. And when they went in to kill these people, they stuffed his knife sheath at the seam to pin it on him. Is that where they're going? But it doesn't matter, because they're going to do the same thing we've seen in other cases where a defense will throw out all kinds of stuff, like Delphi. They will throw out, weird cults, and they'll throw out the pervert on his computer, and they'll throw out everything. And now in Idaho, they've thrown out the dead guy, that killed these two girls. So they're always throwing out somebody, because that's to muck up the water, shall we say. So this is what we're going to see a lot of here. So they're trying to introduce other suspects, because the problem is his DNA is at the scene on a knife sheath that is his, that was with the body. Not outside in the yard, but with the body. And all of his behaviors, his car going by a million times, all the weird things he's done, that they're going to have you try to ignore all the circumstantial evidence to just focus on only the DNA and how it could be planted. That's what they're going to do. They're going to say, ignore all the circumstantial stuff. And this is what happens in many cases these days. Over and over, I've seen cases where they will come forward with some supposed scientific information that says maybe this person didn't do it. But the 20 pieces of circumstantial information, the evidence, they just ignore that. So that you're only focusing on one thing and not the totality of all the evidence, which says, hey, not only is his DNA at the scene, but all the things he's done are very concerning. And that's the reason that he is an extremely good suspect, and that's why he's going to be on trial. All right, so I don't know where the defense is trying to go with this. I really don't. I understand if there really was male DNA that was not his anywhere near the place, they're going to use that. But I still don't understand how they think that supposedly these two people in their frenzy decided they would pin it on him. I mean, that just seems kind of stupid. But then there's the other stupid side. And that would be a veteran profiler, John Kelly, speculates that Kohberger's question when he was arrested, who else did you arrest? Upon his arrest, could indicate an attempt to mislead authorities with planted evidence. So on the other hand, you have this profiler, John Kelly, who's saying that he was so super clever because he was studying criminal justice and understood about planted stuff. So what he did was he got the blood of 2 other men and planted that blood somewhere on the scene so that when he stupidly left his own knife sheath there with his own DNA on it, you'd have accomplices? I mean, this doesn't work. You don't want to leave your DNA if you're going to blame it on other people. That really is not right. So both sides are kind of stupid on this. It's like, no. So do I believe he planted, went to his friends and said, I don't know, how is he getting the blood from his friends? I mean, he's not working. He's not working in the medical field. It's not like he's grabbing test tubes. So he's going up to his friends and going, hey, nice seeing you. I don't know. How is he getting blood from his friends to plant at the scene? Now, why did he say, did you arrest anybody else? I don't know why he said that. Maybe because maybe he was worried about his own family that, they were harboring him or something. I don't know why he said that. But did he have accomplices? Well, could he have accomplices? Well, okay, maybe. I personally don't think this is the kind of thing that he, being a weirdo dude, this is kind of a loner guy. He's a creepy loner guy. He doesn't usually have buddies he can hook up with to go and commit a mass murder. Okay, that I don't buy that for a minute. So I don't think the other 2 pieces of DNA evidence are like his buddies. And I don't think he could get the blood to make them the fall guys and then be stupid enough to leave his own sheath there with his DNA. And I don't think anybody else did it either. So I don't know what these 2 other DNAs are. But personally, I'm looking forward to hearing the evidence on exactly what that is, because I don't think that exonerates him. And I also don't believe that, like John Kelly might, that he's so smart he planted this stuff and then screwed up leaving the knife sheath. It just makes no sense. So, it's kind of funny. Every time these kind of things come out, you get all kinds of weird theories that just really don't hold water. The defense is trying to get his DNA thrown out by saying, hey, it shouldn't have been collected. It was, they use, they use familial stuff to try to find it. He shouldn't have done that. They're trying to find all the legal reasons why essentially there was no proper search warrant on the getting the blood tested, the DNA tested to see who it belonged to. They're trying everything they can to get his DNA removed. So what if they got his DNA removed? Would he be convicted? Well, let's look at it. Lots of weird behaviors, tons of weird behaviors. And the sheath does appear to be his because, he did go do some shopping on Amazon, I believe. So, and his behaviors before the crime, during the crime scene period, going to his parents, all that stuff. Lots of circumstantial evidence. But would it be enough if there wasn't DNA at the scene? And I don't know. I can't answer that because people aren't very comfortable with DNA, circumstantial evidence these days. So do I think the DNA is the thing that is most important? Absolutely. And so does the defense. And that's why they're trying to both get rid of his DNA out of the entire trial, or add in 2 other people's DNA to confuse things, or both. And so the defense is doing what the defense will be doing. But personally, I think that probably the 2 other DNAs are fairly meaningless. His DNA is extremely meaningful, although there's now a ton of people who are free Bryan Kohberger, poor innocent guy. But I'm not saying he's guilty, but I'm waiting for the trial to see all of the information that they have. I'm looking forward to that very much. Thank you for being here. If you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. Bye.